I wanted to talk to you about the importance of breastfeeding. Well, I don't know if I can find that article now, but my friend, I'm sure you could if you looked hard enough. A friend of mine showed me an article. It seemed like a pretty legit one. It had plenty of doctor sources. Again, I'm sure if you look hard enough, you can find this. I'm not sure what keywords you use for it, but this is the gist of the article. And it blew me away, but it's pretty much what I kind of already knew. So my friend that I've known over 20 years is a teacher. I'm very proud of her, and she sent me this article one day about the importance of breastfeeding, and that not just like pumping breast milk into a bottle, but the skin-to-skin contact, the infant's saliva, actually, when it goes into the nipple duct, it goes into the mother, and the mother's brain communicates with that DNA, that blueprint, that information that's in that saliva. And that saliva tells the mother's body if that baby needs anything, is deficient in anything, if that baby is sick at all. It tells the mother's body everything to produce for the milk. So that's the first point I want to make for the importance of breastfeeding. The second point is, first of all, I breastfed my second daughter for up to 2 years, and I got her off successfully. And it wasn't easy, but I got her off the boob at 2 years old, a couple months over 2 years old. And I was planning on getting her to stop breastfeeding at about a year and a half, but they will stop when they're ready, and she wasn't ready, so she stopped about 2 years and a few months. Now, I had to drink a lot of water, and it wasn't just water, it was a lot of smoothies, like juice, because you can't obviously just drink the water, because then you'll deplete yourself of all your vitamins. But if you find yourself not able to drink nearly enough fluids and eat enough food, you're gonna have to start making smoothies out of your food. You're gonna have to start just putting meals in the blender and eating more and getting more, because you're essentially making milk. You're making formula. When they say it's time to eat for 2 when you're pregnant, that's not the time to eat for 2. When you're breastfeeding, it's the time to eat for 2, and you need to keep up the fluids. People tell you, oh, don't drink coffee, it'll dry up your supply. I ain't never dried my supply. I had like 3 iced coffees a day because I couldn't clean up enough after making all the smoothies. I was just so exhausted. You'll about 6 to 8 months, if you notice your hair is thinning, and that happens with most women, you need to start figuring out what the vitamins you're deficient in. And I was able to get my hair to thicken up again, because you need to take your prenatals all throughout breastfeeding as well. It's very important to continue breastfeeding. It's very important to breastfeed. I was only able to breastfeed my first daughter for 3 weeks. I was told it was not that important, and to just give it up because it's too hard. Now listen, it's going to be hard. It's horrible the first time. Your first child breastfeeding is very painful. Your nipples crack and bleed, and they do every time. And then that's why I say motherhood is a trial of blood and pain. It's beautiful, it is, but it's very, very difficult. It's, people make motherhood out to be this easy thing, like you should do it, you're gonna do it, and you can do it by being single, and it's easy, and first of all, I feel if we told mothers that it's not easy, they can prepare themselves a little better. It's really hard, and it does get easier, but you have to be of the right type of person for it. You have to not be a selfish person, like me. I'm a selfish person, but I stayed home for the first year of breastfeeding with my second daughter. I had a very hard time staying home with my first daughter. I had postpartum depression, but back to the breastfeeding. It's very important. I can't wrap my head around this concept that breastfeeding is a lifestyle choice. That these young mothers are like, oh, it's a lifestyle choice. I don't have to if I don't want. No, bitch. You kind of have to, unless you're on some sort of medication or you have some sort of medical reason. Formula is really only there for situational issues. The mother's not around, there's a grandmother, maybe you're off to work and somebody has to give the child formula, they have no choice. you're in school and somebody else is watching a child and they've run out of breast milk that you've pumped. There are situations for formula, but if you don't need to resort to formula, you should be breastfeeding, because why would you want to deny your child the formula that your body can make best? Your child's saliva is going to tell your body. There is no can of formula that is made for your individual spawn. Do you understand me? Only your body, provided you're healthy enough and you're able to produce this formula for this infant. Only you're a cow, you're a human cow. You can make formula for it. It's cheaper, it's easier. There's less hassle once you get in. Once you're over the hard part, I'd say the hard part's about first 90 days. Once you're over the hard part, it does get easier. You don't have to do as much dishes. You can just whip out that boob whatever you like. That kid's satisfied. You go to sleep. The kid goes to sleep. No problem. People look at you funny in public, but they can take a flying leap because it's a tit and it's a baby. And we've been doing this for thousands of years. And the fact that we forgot about this, that this has become... Now, I didn't breastfeed my child in public very often. It was situational. Again, if I was in the car and the child was just screaming. I pulled my baby out of the car seat. We were parked. And I began breastfeeding her in a Comcast parking lot, and these two old men shamed me. They gawked at me. They looked in my window in the privacy of our car, and they laughed at me. I wasn't out in the park. Like, it's unbelievable. So eat well and breastfeed your children. I thought I was done for a second, but I have a few more things to add. If those are not enough reasons for you, health, money, all of the reasons I just mentioned. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, there'd be less mental illness. First of all, I believe with every generation, the mental illness increases if you don't breastfeed. I'm a second generation non-breastfed, so I decided to breastfeed my children because I couldn't bear the thought of a third generation non-breastfed. It will help the DNA of the humans on this planet. Let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, you'll lose weight. So all that baby fat, I couldn't keep fat on my body, first of all. All the fat on my body was liquefied. It was so quick. So if you want to go back to your body weight or better, because your body, after your bones actually reconstruct, your hip bones actually expand when you have a child. So your body almost kind of reconstructs itself after. And while you're reconstructing for the first year while breastfeeding, it's very important that you breastfeed and you eat healthy, because, man, you're going to get a good-looking body after you have a baby. And I know that doesn't make sense because a lot of people say, oh, my God, your body's going to be ruined after you have a baby. No, your body will be ruined if you don't breastfeed and exercise. So you're going to get probably a better body after. Maybe after a couple kids, it won't keep getting better, but... So, let's see, DNA of the planet, health, money, the mental illness thing. You get your body back. There's just the list of it's just, I could go on and on and on. I'm sure other people have better things to add, but I'm telling you right now, part of saving this earth, part of protecting the earth is breast. Every choice we make, including the choice to stay home and breastfeed our children, that's actively saving our planet. You don't have to go out there and clean up the oil out of the water if you don't have the means. If that's not your job, it's not your job. If your only job is to raise healthy, intelligent children, that's good enough. So some people here are meant to be the scientists, and some people here are meant to be the proper breeders. And I hate to put it that way because I don't believe in eugenics. I think eugenics is horrible. I think telling people they can't reproduce based on their intelligence or is no different than telling them they can't reproduce based on a disability or skin color or religious value. I think that's disgusting that anybody would deny somebody the beautiful right to reproduce simply because, for whatever reason, they are on the path that they are on. That, it's awful. I do not believe in eugenics whatsoever, but I believe that genetics should be analyzed, and we should take these things into consideration. We should want to breed more healthily. We should want to choose our partners for reasons, like we should tell people they have to pass a permit or they can only have so many children, or you can't breed if you have too many things in your DNA. But what we should do is before we date people, we should ask them, hey, you got any allergies? You got any this, that, any that? Because if you're not willing to reproduce with this person, why are you dating them? I would try to refine my dating the older I got, because if you're dating somebody, why dating them other than to reproduce? And if you can't reproduce, then I guess it's for companionship, and that's fine. That's wonderful. But save the planet in whatever way you can, whether you can reproduce or not. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry if I tend to go back and forth. I, of course, understand that why does anybody want to be with another person? Sometimes it's not always about reproduction. It's about love. I understand that. But this is not for those people. This video is for anybody who is planning on reproducing. If you're planning on reproducing, please consider breastfeeding. Again, if I say at any point do this or do that, my ultimate principle is do what you will. So I believe it'll all balance out in the end, because if there are bad people, there is inevitably good people who actually will to do good. They want to do good, and they will balance all of this out. So do what you will. Follow your path. If you plan on reproducing, please breastfeed. Thank you. Goodbye.